Calling the order January 2nd, 2024, Bucyrus Council. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please.
McKeever is absent. Myers?
Here.
Wireball?
Here.
Potter?
Here.
Sherrick?
Here.
Spiegel?
Here.
Young?
Here.
Mr. McKeever is absent due to the passing of his father, so if we can have just a moment of silence for our thoughts and prayers to be with him and his family. Thank you. Mr. Myers, you had something?
Yeah, since the outgoing administration isn't here to help this, I've asked the incoming mayor to help facilitate recognizing the outgoing council members. So, Mr. Truka, if you would so do the honor. I've got them in order to go around for you.
Mr. Steve Young. In appreciation of your service to the citizens of Bucyrus, we thank you very much. Gary Spiegel.
Steve.
And I'm sorry to say, I was supposed to say fourth ward, sorry.
Oh, that's fine.
Gary Spiegel, this is an appreciation for the service to the citizens of Bucyrus for serving Ward 3.
Thank you, sir. Good luck.
I think Terry's got an attitude.
There's no Aaron Shark. Okay. Brendan Potter? Bob, you got out of it. In appreciation of your service to the citizens of Bucyrus for serving Ward 1, we thank you very much for your service. Thank you. Dan Wireball. Thank you for serving on council all this time.
Yeah.
For a council at large.
Thank you for stepping up.
You're as old as I am. Jenny Vermillion.
Can we come around?
Sure. Unless you could jump.
I'd like to see.
Thank you for serving as council president for 2021 through 2023. Thank you. This is the last one. Thank you to Mark McKeever for serving as long as you have from 2016 through 2023. We thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. May I have a motion to excuse Mr. McKeever? So moved.
Second.
I have a motion by Ms. Sherrick, a second by Mr. Potter. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Before you, you have the minutes from the December 19th, 2023 regular council meeting.
I'll make a move or a motion to approve.
Second.
I have a motion by Mr. Potter, a second by Mr. Wireball. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. You also have the December 21st, 2023 special council meeting.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
I have a motion by Mr. Young, a second by Mr. Wireball. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. You also have the December 28th, 2023 special council meeting minutes.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
I have a motion by Mr. Spiegel, a second by Mr. Potter. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. And you also have the December 28th, 2023 special council meeting minutes, part 2.
I'll make a motion to approve. I'll second that.
I have a motion by Mr. Young, a second by Mr. Spiegel. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Granting permission for visitors to speak.
Vicki Dishon, 1108 Hillcrest Drive. Before I begin my 2024-2025 term as a council at-large representative, I wish to address the matter of the 3 suits that I filed against former Bucyrus City Councils for their violations of Ohio sunshine laws. My 3 suits were for 118 violations at $500 each, totaling $59,000. I received from the city settlement payments, court cost reimbursements, and interest totaling $25,802.72. The city, at its discretion, chose to incur legal fees totaling $65,396.64. Individuals, both inside and outside this room, have repeatedly stated, "I took taxpayer monies." I have no problem with their statements because I believe we all have the right to voice our opinion. However, here is what you do not know. In 1997, after serving 20 years as the part-time law clerk, council approved health insurance coverage for all long-term part-time employees with 20 or more years service. In September 2007, I retired from the city of Bucyrus. That same month, I was rehired as the part-time law clerk. With my part-time rehire, I was no longer eligible for health insurance coverage. From September 2007 up to my permanent retirement in February 2016, approximately $102,000 was saved of taxpayer monies. The $102,000 in savings does not include 8.5 years of annual health insurance premium increases. In May 2010, I was offered the 20-hour per week part-time casual secretary position for the law director. Since I was able to complete the duties in 10 hours per week, from June 2010 up to my permanent retirement in February 2016, approximately $29,000 was saved of taxpayer monies. The $29,000 savings does not include 5 3/4 years of annual wage increases and city PERS contributions. So if one feels the need to say that I took taxpayer monies totaling $25,802.72, please remember to also say that I saved taxpayer monies totaling $131,000 plus. Thank you.
Anybody else? Standing committee reports, plating,
No report.
public lands and buildings,
No report this time.
health and safety,
No report.
finance,
No report.
economic development,
Nothing to report.
service,
No report.
traffic commission.
Nothing else.
Got it. Reports of any special committees, 2022, 2023 term. Anybody need to? Any unfinished business from 2022 to 2023 term? A motion to adjourn, Sine Die.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion by Mr. Potter, a second by Mr. Wireball. All those in favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned at 7:08.
I'm going to call the 2024 to 2025 council to order at 7:13 p.m. Roll call, please.
Myers.
Here.
Dishon.
Here.
Shireman.
Here.
Moritz.
Here.
Sherrick.
Here.
Hickman. Here. And me.
Granting permission for visitors to speak. Does anybody want to address council? Please come to the podium, state your name and address.
Thank you, Mr. President. Kevin Detray, 1505 Edgewood Drive. I think most of you here, those that don't know me, I'm the airport manager. So I just want to give you a brief overview of the funding, the federal funding that we get, because it's kind of new to those that haven't been here before, just to give you an idea. Every year, the airport gets what's called an AIP grant of $150,000. That's on an annual basis. We're allowed to accumulate that up to 4 years or $600,000. It rolls over. If we don't use it, then after that, we lose the first year beginning, so it's kind of a rollover type thing. At the present time, we have $450,000 eligible AIP money from the federal government. During the COVID situation, the federal government also came out with a bipartisan infrastructure legislation where we get an annual grant from that also. That varies a little bit from year to year. The first year it was $159,000. This year it's $144,000. And we have 3 years accumulated on that. And the reason we have this accumulation is the past projects that were done at the airport by the federal government, they paid 100% of that. So we didn't have to dip into what we have built up here. So at this particular time, we have $898,000 of federal monies available to us coming in. That is federal, 90% federal, 5% state, 5% local. So any of these grants we get out of the AIP or the BIL, the city is responsible for 5% of that. Any questions thus far? Okay. What we have determined, when I say we, I mean myself as the airport manager and the airport commission, of which Fred Fischer here is a member of. There's 5 members. For fiscal year 2024, the present runway lights that we have, the taxiway lights were replaced 2 years ago with the federal grant that we had. But the present runway lights are dated back in the 90s. They're old, they're incandescent, you can't get parts for them anymore. They're just additional upkeep, they're not efficient. So we have determined the worthy project for 2024 would be to go ahead and replace the present runway lights with new LED lights. And also there's what they call at the end of each runway, there are strobe lights, those are called REALs, runway end identification lights. And then we also have a approach path indicator called a PAPI, P-A-P-I, Precision Approach Path Indicator. The one on the runway 4 was replaced 2 years ago as part of that program, that grant. This year we would like to replace the north end for runway 22 as part of this grant. The engineering estimate is $750,000 for the work. That's the engineering estimate, of which the city would be responsible for 5%, which is $37,500. Kaylee, is that in our budget? Do you know?
I will check.
I know we had talked about putting it in the budget.
I do remember talking.
Yeah. So I just kind of don't want to take a lot of time. I'm sure there's a lot of things to do and so forth, but just give a little brief interview of how things are handled at the airport, how it's funded, the federal grants in particular. Next year, we would like to go ahead. The runway was overlaid in 2017. Probably, I'm talking fiscal year 25 now, is do a overlay or a slurry type seal to help to bring it back to life.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
You're
Thank you.
welcome.
So the $37,500 of the city share of the projected estimate of $750,000 for this year's project is in our budget. So, any questions? Come on, you're the new council members, most of you can ask me the first question.
I got a question.
Okay, Kurt?
What's the deal with that light that was going to go on Isaac Beale Road because the plane's approaching at night?
No.
What Kurt is talking about is a light that the federal government decided that we need to put on Isaac Beale Road. The federal government, the FAA, considers the road a hazard to the airport. And they take the road and they go up 30 feet, I believe it is. So there's certain approach minimums, certain slopes that you have to abide by. And basically what they want to do is put a red light up on a pole on Isaac Beale Road. In essence, putting an obstruction where there's presently not an obstruction. So it just doesn't really make sense, but it's kind of what they want. And what that does, that affects our instrument approach at nighttime, coming in on runway 22 for the instrument approach. which are used normally when the weather is bad, the instrument approaches. So we had a conference call with the FAA back in November. Bruce, I think you were on that? You guys were kind of on it?
Yeah, we were on it.
Okay. And that was brought up, and I think right now that's kind of what's keeping that grant open. And the FAA agreed we need to just go ahead and close that and put that on a future grant. So I think that's what's happening with that at this point. You know, we got a quote for it, but because of the time, you know, the person that gave us the quote to put the light in really didn't want to abide by it because they didn't know what the products were going to cost in the future and so forth, so it just kind of...
And then material costs skyrocketed because
Exactly.
of COVID.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's right. I know we talked about that, Kurt.
Does anybody else have any questions for Mr. Detray? Seeing none, we thank you for coming.
Do we need to make a motion or anything to get this into committee or?
Not at this point,
Okay.
Aaron. Yeah, I just kind of wanted to give everybody a heads up to hit the ground running with this, so to speak. So. Okay, very good. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Is there any other visitors who would like to address council?
Fred Fischer, 430 Stevens Court. As Kevin mentioned, I am on the Airport Commission, but a group of us, of which I am president, have started about 2 years ago the Loretta Schmoller Museum. If you didn't know, our airport was actually created and the property was acquired through the efforts of Loretta. But in 1966, she was recognized by the Air Force as the founder of flight nurses and the whole medevac concept. And so we've had 3 fly-ins, first 2 years, starting with the bicentennial in October. And after 2 years of freezing our tushes off, we moved it to September last year. It was much better. We had over 40 airplanes that flew in, pancake breakfast in the hangar, and a flea market and a car show. We're expanding it this year. We're moving it back 1 week to the 21st of September. And unbeknownst to us, over the last few years, there's a lady named Cynthia Brose, who was from Los Angeles, who moved to Phoenix and was a nurse. And she wrote a book several years ago about the nurses of LA. And out of that, she learned about Loretta, who actually moved from Bucyrus after she founded the airport to LA and became good friends with Amelia Earhart, and there's a whole storied history. And here for 7 years, she's been working on a book, which is hot off the press. Literally, I just got the first my order in today. They literally were printed last week, and it's the whole history, and it's kind of, the first paragraph is all about Loretta getting our airport started, and it's very entertaining to say the least, because City Council passed to buy the 63 acres for $15,000, and the mayor vetoed it, and there's a whole litany of crazy things going on at that time. And the interesting one, which she points out in here, is that the power was shut off to the new hangar, which is approximately where the Boy Scout hangar is, was turned off at night, and the airplanes had no electric turned on. And about a month after the dedication in July of '32, the hangar burned down with 2 other airplanes in it, and her brand new airplane, which was not insured, was only 30 days old. And there's rumors of a car leaving at 10 o'clock at night, and the fact that she was a female and was running this airport did not go over well with some people. So anyhow, it's a very entertaining book. Cynthia is going to be here the week of the fly-in and going to do some book signing and other events that we have planned, and know that we have about $8,000 built up toward a monument that we're going to put out at the airport, recognizing her and as being the founder of our airport and her accomplishments in aviation. So just wanted to let you know, you probably see my face up here a few more times about it. It's a trove of history. We have all kinds of stuff at the Historical Society, of which she has over 350 pictures in here. And we have books coming in, should have them in about 10 days, and we'll have a press release. It's just all about Bucyrus, really. So we got some real unique history here in our community that's been a pretty well kept secret. So appreciate your time. Any questions anybody has on anything at all? Very good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there anybody else who would like to address council? Seeing none, we will move on to appointment of the council clerk. And I believe there's an ordinance on there. There's an ordinance on the agenda as well, but are we just going to have a vote to appoint the clerk until the ordinance is passed?
I have a question. Do we have to touch on pay at that point in time as well? Pay?
That's in, we have to talk about pay. That's in the ordinance.
Did you, yeah, that's in the ordinance. Did you read the ordinance?
That's why I was asking. I mean, do we have to make a motion with those sorts of things prior, or how do we do that?
Yeah, so you would have to, as council as a whole, if you're gonna pass that ordinance, somebody would have to make a motion to appoint Miranda as the, if that's who you guys choose, to appoint Miranda as the clerk for the 24-25 year, as well as the 25-26 year. The legislation that I prepared had her 24-20.
It's just 24-25.
24-25.
Yeah, there's no 25-26
Yeah,
year.
I lied. So 24 year with pay at $20 an hour, and then the 25 year with pay at $21 an hour. So somebody would have to make a motion to have that legislation.
Do we need to waive the council rules and all
We
of
would have
that?
to waive all of our council rules.
So
to bring that
Mr. Law
forward.
Director, in your legal opinion, do we need an ordinance, or can the council clerk be hired without the ordinance?
I would have an ordinance.
You would still want the ordinance? in there?
Yeah.
So do we want to not do anything with this line currently and just wait for the ordinance?
Or we could vote on that to send it to full council, from full council right now.
Vicki?
Well, what's been done in the past is, looking at past council minutes, there's always been, someone says, I move that we appoint. In fact, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to move that we appoint Miranda Wise as the council clerk for the 2024-2025 council term. Then that's voted on by council. Then later on, we have the legislation that we read, and we also officially pass that.
Second.
There has been a motion by Ms. Dishon and seconded by Mr. Me to appoint Miranda Wise as our council clerk. Is that just a yay, nay vote? All those in favor say yay.
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Okay, it passes, so Ms. Wise, you get to be our clerk. Next on the agenda, naming council president pro tem for 2024-2025 term. Is there anybody that would like to make a motion to appoint Mr. Myers as a pro tem? Yes, Vicki.
I move that we nominate Kevin Myers as council president pro tem for the 2024-2025 council term, and I move that we close the nominations.
Second.
There's been firsted by Mr. Shaw, seconded by, is that you again, James? Oh, it was Mr. Hickman. To appoint Mr. Myers as or name Mr. Myers as the pro tem council president for the 2024-2025 term. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, Mr. Myers, you are going to be the pro tem council president.
Don't miss any meetings.
Approval of naming of council clerk pro tem for 2024 to 2025.
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion to appoint Vicki Dishon as the council clerk pro tem and close nominations.
Second.
Okay, who seconded it? James? Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, Ms. Dishon, you are the clerk pro tem. Approval of 2024 to 2025 council meeting and committee meeting.
That should just say 2024, that's a typo on my end. It's just the year for 2024.
Okay, 2024 council meeting and committee
Mr.
meeting.
President, I do have a couple questions. You
Yes.
got dates on here of election nights of March 19 and November 5. Did we want to look at moving those? And then my other question was no meeting on August 22. I'm assuming you thought that might have been the Bucyrus Festival, but that's the week prior.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Our goof.
So we would be fine to meet committees on
August
August 22.
22. I'm not seeing that.
Far right column, fourth row down, where it says no meeting.
Okay.
We'd be fine to have committees on August 22. I see we moved the Tuesday council meeting on the National Night Out to that Monday of August 5th. But we did not move, and traditionally we've moved them off of the election nights of March 19th and November 5.
So the November 5,
That's a Monday. Or no, sorry, August 5 was Monday.
yeah,
November
so
5 is Tuesday.
I don't even think the 2023 was moved at all. It was on election night, wasn't it?
Yes, it was moved.
Oh, it was
We
moved.
moved them, yes. We went
So
back
how do
to-
you guys feel about that being on election night?
It shouldn't be on.
I'd like to move both of those to the Monday prior.
So you want to move November 5
And
to
March
the
19th.
4th.
to the 4th?
And March 19th to the 18th.
March 19th. Now, what's the deal on the March 19th? I don't.
That's
is
the
there-
primary
That's
this
the
year.
primary election.
Oh, it's way early.
Yes, because it's a.
So you want to move that to the 18th?
I would
Yes.
prefer.
March 18th.
Was there another one?
August 22nd, we still want to have that?
We can have a committee on August 22.
Yeah, 22nd, still keep that
Okay,
one.
August 19th still good?
Yep, that's fine.
That's the week after Bratwurst.
Week after, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, 22nd's back in.
And what was National Night Out?
August 6th will be National Night Out, so that one's already on there for a Monday, August 5.
Yeah.
So it's already moved, take care of.
Yeah, good catch.
Does anybody have any other discussion on any of this other than moving the 4 that Mr. Myers just said?
Oh, hold on, yeah. Brian just pointed out August 19th was a Monday. Maybe somebody thought that was Monday prior to the festival. So that one can go back to August 20th, which would be Tuesday, so the 20th and 22nd.
August 20th, okay.
Good catch, sir.
So the changes are March 18th, November 4th, August 20th, and August 22nd.
Yes.
Yep. Is everybody okay with that?
Oh, yes.
I'll make a motion to accept those
And I'll second that.
With the changes.
Yep.
as amended.
All those in
amended.
favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Okay, that would be the 2024 meeting schedule. Approval of 2024-2025 committee assignments. There is a list in here.
You just picked it up. That's fine.
I'll just go ahead and read it so that everybody online can hear what we're looking at here. Economic Development, Mr. Hickman, Chair, Dishon, Moritz, Shireman. Finance Committee, Mr. Myers, Chair, Dishon, Moritz, me. Health and Safety, Dishon, Chair, me, Myers, Sherrick. Plating, me, Chair, and when I say me, I'm talking about James. Me.
You might want to say Mr. Me, because that made some interesting minutes before.
Mr. Me?
When they just said me, and Jenny was talking about
Oh,
herself and
okay.
said
Just
me,
call him
and
Jim
then
from Ward
added me.
So Plating, Mr. Me, Chair, Dishon, Sherrick, Shireman. Public Lands and Buildings, Sherrick, Chair, Hickman, Moritz, Shireman. Service Committee, Moritz, Chair, Hickman, Myers, Sherrick. Does anybody have any discussion on the proposed committee assignments?
I'll move to accept them.
I'll second.
Okay, all those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? Those are your 2024-2025 committee assignments. Approval of 2024-2025 subcommittee assignments. That is another lots of pages here, which thanks to Vicki, we got a lot of this sorted out. There was stuff that wasn't, I think she found some open spots, but just gonna go over the proposed list here. Airport Commission, only one is appointed by council. Kurt Fankhauser, myself, is listed here for the 2-year term beginning January 1, 2024 and ending December 31, 2025. Board of Building Standards and Appeals, one appointed by council. James Me, 2-year term beginning January 1, 2024, ending December 31, 2025. Board of Zoning Appeals, one appointed by council. James Me, 2-year term beginning January 1, 2024, ending December 31, 2025. Bucyrus City Safety Team, one appointed by council. Kevin Myers, 2-year term beginning January 1, 2024, ending December 31, 2025. Bucyrus Community Improvement Corporation, Zion Hickman, Economic Development Chair, 2-year term beginning January 1, 2024, ending December 31, 2025. The Community Reinvestment Area CRA Housing Council, 2 appointed by council. Vicki Dishon, 2-year term, and Zion Hickman, 2-year term, both coinciding beginning January 1, 2024 and ending December 31, 2025. Second page, Crawford County Family and Children First.
That's wrong.
What's wrong about it?
Well, right now, they're completely up in the air on when things happen, but it's usually at 11 o'clock, and it's been at the Job and Family Services office.
Oh, you're talking about the D meets quarterly at 9:30 a.m.?
When they meet, and it's monthly, and it's usually around 11 a.m. But right now, there's not a person in charge of Family and Children First, so it's kind of getting together when the people...
As needed?
Well, there's a whole lot that's needed, but they're trying to figure out what they're doing next.
Well, they can get all that hashed out, but as far as the one appointed by council, Carolyn Shireman, 2-year term beginning 1/1/2024 and ending 12/31/2025. Yes, Vicki?
If I could just reply to Aaron's comment, that information that's on here where it's meets quarterly, that was taken from the previous appointments.
And that was from the previous before that, and that's, like I said, it's all up in the air right now. They don't know what's going on.
And I had called and left a message with the first council.
Yeah,
and
you're not gonna get
nobody
anybody right now.
returned
Yeah.
my phone call, so.
Yeah, I've got a few emails because I was the one that had been appointed there, but yeah, it's 11 o'clock in the morning and it's on a Monday. It's been monthly, trying to get stuff done, but with everything up in the air after the head of the Family and Children First left, it's been a little chaotic.
And where did you say that they've been meeting?
Job and Family Services.
Okay.
Thank you.
Crawford Park District, 2 appointed by council, both a 2-year term coinciding. Zion Hickman and Carolyn Shireman, 2-year term beginning January 1, 2024 and ending December 31, 2025. Floodplain Appeals Board, One appointed by council, 2-year term, James Me. January 1, 2024, ending December 31, 2025. Stormwater Utilities Appeals Board, Chris Moritz, who's the service chair. 2-year term beginning January 1, 2024, ending December 31, 2025. Traffic Commission, Vicki Dishon, Health and Safety Chair, 2-year term beginning January 1, 2024, and ending December 31, 2025. And then the last one, Volunteer Firefighters Dependents Fund Board, 2 appointed by council, Chris Moritz and Carolyn Shireman, both a 1-year term beginning January 1, 2024 and ending December 31, 2024. Is there any discussion on it?
Yes, for the 2 that require legislation, I would like to refer the Board of Building Standards and Appeals to Health and Safety and the Board of Zoning Appeals to Plating.
Okay.
Yes, Vicki.
You know, I told you this is what I'm going to do when I want to be recognized, my finger. What did you just ask for, Kevin, now?
To refer those, the Board of Building Standards and Appeals, there's legislation required for those 2.
Exactly.
So Health and Safety, according to Mr. Gernert, would do the BBSA, and Plating would do the Board of Zoning Appeals.
Okay. If I could interject, when we were having the referral to, when you're appointed to the Board of Zoning Appeals, whoever serves on the Board of Zoning Appeals also serves on the Board of Building Standards and Appeals. And we have Mr. Lipscomb, whose term ended 12/31. Now, we just referred him to the plating committee, or his position, I should say. And in the legislation that has been typed in the past, it refers to him serving both on the Board of Zoning Appeals and also serving on the Board of Building Standards and Appeals. So if we're going to separate these 2 boards and refer them to 2 separate committees, I guess I just want to make sure, is that what we're doing?
It's probably more economical just to do it all through plating.
I
I
have to
don't think
agree
it-
on that.
And then you would only have to do one piece of legislation and publish once.
Correct. Okay.
I'll amend my motion to refer them both to Plating.
Sorry, Mr. Myers.
That's all right, thank you.
Does anybody second Mr. Myers' motion?
I do.
It's been seconded by Mr. Moritz. All those in favor refer that to plating, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Is there any other discussion on the subcommittee appointments? Okay, need a motion to approve the subcommittee appointments.
So moved.
Second.
It's been firsted by Mr. Myers, seconded by Ms. Shireman. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay. Report of city officers. Mr. Mayor, how are you doing?
Good evening. I'd like to thank the outgoing Bucyrus City Council for their contributions to the city of Bucyrus. I'd also like to thank Jeff Reeser and his administration and wish them the best in their future endeavors. Tommy Starner, Lisa Stuckman, and myself look forward to working with the council president, Kurt Fankhauser, and the 2024-2025 Bucyrus City Council, Council Clerk Miranda Wise, and all the dedicated City of Bucyrus employees. We look forward to working as a team for the greater good of the City of Bucyrus. Mr. President, I'd like to introduce to you Tommy Starner as the new Service Safety Director. Tommy is a veteran in the United States Air Force, having served 22 and a half years. I would like to introduce Lisa Stuckman as the new administrative assistant. Lisa is a veteran of the Ohio Air National Guard, having served 6 years. Mr. President, at this present time, I'd like to introduce Tommy Starner and have him tell us a little bit about himself, followed by Lisa Stuckman.
All right, I'm Tommy Starner. I was 22 and a half years in the military. Oh, I can stand up. No, I can't. I was 22 and a half years in the military. 17 of it was in the reserves. I've been everywhere. I've been to Afghanistan, Iraq, Turkey, Kuwait, Saudi, Korea 3 times, Japan, just pretty much everywhere. I moved back here and took a job at Timken. Worked there for about 12 years. Ended up being a supervisor there after being a boiler operator for about 13 years there. And then I went to Poet for a year in Fostoria. Worked as a boiler operator for about a week and then became a supervisor there for a year. And then I went to GE and worked 13 years there as a supervisor. And then I have 2 daughters. One is 29. She's in the Air Force. She flies C-130s. And I have another daughter who's she works for a construction company. She's their one of their main what do they call it when they like advertise for them and stuff like that. Marketing director. There you go. So she does that, and they're both doing very well. She lives in Marietta. The other one lives in Albuquerque. And then I have 2 stepdaughters here that live there in Bucyrus. One of them's a hairdresser, and the other one's works for Zorn's, or for it's not Zorn's, it's plumbing. It's Bricks, Sewer and Drain. There you go. And then we have 4 grandchildren with them too. And of course I have a wife, Lori. She's the one that supports me in all this stuff. So. Being here for 14 hours a day or whatever it is, so, but any questions for me?
Welcome aboard, Tommy.
Thank you.
Come on up.
You can go up to the podium.
Well,
Well, there's no microphone over there.
I'll come back to you then.
Make sure you put it real close.
Hello, my name's Lisa Stuckman. I've been a Bucyrus resident since the early 70s when my family relocated to Bucyrus. I'm married to Tim Stuckman, who a lot of you know as the local Pepsi guy. Recently left Job and Family Services after 31 years. I'm very honored, excited to join the administration as administrative assistant in the mayor's office. I'm looking forward to assisting the mayor and the safety service director along with all of you and the city of Bucyrus. I have a son named Taryn, daughter-in-law, and a 9-month-old granddaughter. They live in Nashville, Tennessee, so it's a little too far away, but I've got a lot of good work to do here, and very excited. Thank you.
Thank you for those introductions, Mr. Mayor, and I will say that I did stop by and visit the mayor's office today, and this was actually your first day in office, right?
Yes.
And I really think that you have a good team put together, Mr. Truka, and I think with this council, I think that Bucyrus's best days are yet to come. And I really look forward to what we're going to accomplish. So.
Yay!
With that being said, does anybody have any questions for the mayor? Okay, we're going to move on to Safety Service Director report.
All right, this is quick. Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to welcome the new council members and thank the previous council members for their dedication. I look forward to working with all of you. Thank you.
Thank you. Does anybody have any questions for the Service Director? Moving on, Law Director report, Mr. Gernert.
Thank you, Mr. President. I would echo Mr. Starner. I'd like to welcome all of the new council members, thank the previous administration, the previous council members for all of their dedication to the city. Just a few things. I was asked by Mrs. Dishon about 216 West Mary Street. They had that's the Mary Street extension down by the river that's significantly dilapidated and has a lot of interesting items of cars, lawnmowers, those types of things. They were supposed to have that in compliance by December 1st. Shortly thereafter, I filed a subsequent motion asking the court to revoke that gentleman's bond and his probation, and the court set that for a hearing sometime in February. I took pictures and included the pictures. As you guys are all well aware, nothing has changed down there, and if anything has changed, it's worse off. So I'll be taking additional photos here in the near future, supplementing those to the court. But it is in front of the court. Hopefully soon they can, have that probation hearing and hopefully get some compliance. I would also like to refer the area housing, or the refer to the Economic Development Committee. The Ohio Revised Ordinance 34/2019 incorrectly outlines who should be appointed to the Community Reinvestment Area Housing Council. In Section 7, it uses the Tax Incentive Review Council as opposed to what the Ohio Revised Code requires. Mrs. Dishon had brought that to my attention, so I would like to refer that to Economic Development so that we can correct that piece of legislation to correctly reflect who should be appointed and where each of those appointments comes from. And then finally, Mr. Fankhauser brought to my attention that when we had our special meeting to pass the Ohio OPWC appropriations last 2 weeks ago, whatever it was, December 28th, in order to move forward on legislation without the 3 readings, you need 75%. At that meeting, we only had 71% because we only had 5 members present, so we would have needed 6 out of 7 to move that forward. So I would like to refer that to Finance so that we can make corrective legislation to basically approve what the prior council did as far as the OPWC appropriations. I think that's all I have to speak about today.
Okay, need a motion to move those 2 items into committees.
So moved.
All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? And then, does anybody have any questions for the law director? Thank you, Mr. Gernert. Now it is our auditor, Ms. Lewis.
We just are still in the process of wrapping up a couple loose ends on year ends. So you guys get a break tonight, no report.
And no referrals?
No.
Oh, wow. No referrals. Do we have a treasurer's report in here, or was there's no treasurer's report? Does well, backing up a little bit, does anybody have any questions for the auditor? Okay. No police report, no fire report. Need a motion to accept the city officers' reports.
So moved.
So, second. I said so move.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Visitors' input regarding reports of standing special committees and of city officers. Does anybody want to address council and give input on any of the reports? Don't see any. Consideration of proposed legislation for the second time. Are you going to read that?
Prior to that, Mr. President, if I may, The proposed ordinance 57-2023 was an appropriation dealing with the 2023 budget. Since, and the auditor, correct me if I'm wrong, but since the 2023 budget has now been completed, that piece is no longer viable or necessary.
So you're pulling it?
Yes, I think that it should be pulled, yes.
Okay, I think should we vote to amend the agenda then, to pull that, or
Okay.
does anybody want to make that motion?
I don't think we need one.
Okay, just scratch it then. Except to the second reading, so that's, we don't even have to do that then, because that was going to be
I
the
have
second
to
reading.
read proposed
We gotta
ordinance.
do the
53.
property maintenance one. Yeah.
Okay,
So proposed ordinance 53-2023, it's the property maintenance code changes. Amending and supplementing section 1355.99 entitled penalty under chapter 1355 entitled International Property Maintenance Code, under the title 7 entitled Housing and Property Maintenance Code, under part 13 entitled Building Code of the Codified Ordinance of the City of Bucyrus.
need a motion to accept that as a second reading?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Public participation. Any member of the general public may present their input or comments on legislation that's been read for the second time. Does anybody want to give public input? Okay, don't see any. Consideration of proposed legislation for the first time.
Mr. President, so prior to that, we would need a motion from council as a whole to suspend the rules, particularly the rule requiring ordinances referred and come out of the proper council, and proceed with a resolution from council as a whole, and then outlining that Ms. Wise would be the council clerk for the 24-25 term, and outlining her pay in the proposed legislation that I have prepared.
Mr. President?
So, yeah, we need a motion then to suspend the
111.
rules and bring a piece of legislation before full council.
I'd like to make that motion to suspend rules of local council rules of 111.14 to bring forth legislation straight to the council floor and appoint or request legislation appointing Miranda Wise to fill the position of council clerk on a full-time basis for the year 2024 at a rate of $20 hourly, and for the year 2025 at a rate of $21 hourly.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay. All those in, or do we have, does that have to be roll call?
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna need a roll call vote here.
Myers.
Yes.
Deshawn.
Yes.
Sharman.
Yes.
Moritz.
Yes.
Sherrick.
Yes.
Hickman.
Yes.
Me.
Yes.
Okay, so we have suspended the rules. We have a piece of legislation now before us without having gone through committee. Do we still need to read the caption and all that?
Yeah.
Okay.
So proposed
Did I need to say
resolution
that?
202-2024, it's the council clerk appointment for 2024 to 2025. Appointing Miranda Wise to fill the position of Bucyrus Council Clerk on a full-time 40-hour per week basis from January 1st, 2024 through December 31st, 2024 at an hourly figure of $20, and from January 1st, 2025 throughout December 31st, 2025 at an hourly figure of $21 an hour, together with the available health insurance and sick leave entitlements, etc., for all non-union, non-elective, full-time, 40-hour per week city employees. Further, the clerk's 40-hour per week shall include her attendance at all regularly scheduled and specially called council meetings and regularly scheduled and special called committee meetings. Further, the clerk shall be paid compensation of 1 1/2 times the basic hourly rate for hours worked over 40 hours when authorized by the council president. Said appointment commencing retroactively to January 1st, 2024 and declaring an emergency.
Okay, need a motion to accept that as a first reading.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Public participation. Any member of the general public may present their input or comments on legislation that's been read for the first time. We have no public participation. Refer back to originating committee. Which one was pulled?
The middle one.
Middle one was pulled. So proposed ordinance 53-2023 is referred back to health and safety. Proposed resolution 202-2024 referred back to council as a whole. And then, are we gonna do this, Vicki, or?
Yeah, I'd like to move that we enter into executive session to consider the compensation of a public employee official per Ohio Revised Code, Section 121.22 G1.
What?
Oh, got it. Sorry. We're okay.
Okay, so we have a motion to go into executive session to consider public employees' compensation. Do we have a second to that?
I second that.
Okay. Roll call vote?
Myers?
Yes.
Dishon?
Yes.
Shireman?
Yes.
Moritz?
Yes.
Sherrick?
Yes.
Hickman?
Yes.
Me.
Yes.
Okay, it's exactly 8 o'clock PM.
I also like to invite Director Gernert, Truka, Safety Director Starner, Auditor Lewis, Council President Finkhauser, into executive session.
Okay, executive session, the time is 8 PM, so we're gonna go in the caucus room here. What's that? Oh.
Motion to come out.
Motion to exit executive session.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Who seconded?
Was it Chris? Yeah.
Myers?
Yes.
Dishon?
Yes.
Shireman?
Yes.
Moritz?
Yes.
Sherrick?
Yes.
Hickman?
Yes.
Me.
Yes.
We are out of executive session at 8:55 PM. Should I say the thing about notice?
Yeah, just no action.
No actions being done. Committee report on pending legislation, health and safety.
Health and safety is favorable to proposed ordinance number 53-2023 dealing with property maintenance code.
And then council as a whole, pretty sure we're still favorable to hiring a council clerk.
Yes, we are.
So,
I second.
further consideration of pending legislation. What's the 202-2024?
That's the council.
Okay, that's the council clerk. Okay, I'm gonna have to get this page out.
Yep.
For the second and third reading of proposed resolution number 202-2024, do I hear a motion to suspend the rules, waive the readings of the caption and text, and declare it an emergency?
Second.
Kevin was first, Aaron was second.
Myers?
Yes.
Sherrick?
Yes.
Hickman?
Yes.
Me.
Yes.
Dishon?
Yes.
Shireman?
Yes.
Moritz?
Yes.
Do I hear a motion to adopt proposed resolution 202-2024?
So moved.
Second.
It's Kevin and Aaron again.
Myers?
Yes.
Sherrick?
Yes.
Hickman?
Yes.
Me.
Yes.
Dishon?
Yes.
Shireman?
Yes.
And Moritz?
Yes.
Resolution number 202-2024 is duly adopted. Congratulations. Old and unfinished business.
Mr. President.
Mr.
If I
Myers.
may. The current contract that the previous council had done, or I think authorized the administration to do with the economic partnership Crawford Partnership expired on December 31st. We had set it up as a 2-year contract to coincide with the current council term, so I'd like to refer that back to Economic Development for further consideration for the administration to enter into a new 2-year contract with them.
Sure.
I'll second that.
I'm waiting on clerk here. That's referred to committee.
To Economic Development Committee, yeah.
Get the committee sheet for that, I swear.
Sit underneath here. I don't want to touch anything.
Is it in here? Okay. Economic Development Committee. She's getting it here. Kevin made the motion, Aaron seconded. All those in favor of referring that, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Other old and unfinished business. New and miscellaneous business, I do know one, and that would be the council rules and procedures ad hoc committee. Ms. Dishon wanted to get the ad hoc rules and procedures back into a ad hoc committee. Now what?
Go ahead, and then I'll talk.
Well, go ahead, talk.
Well, what I wanted to do was move for the establishment of an ad hoc committee for, 1, the rules of procedure for Bucyrus City Council, 2, Bucyrus Codified Ordinance Chapter 111 entitled Council, Rules of Council, and 3, Bucyrus Codified Ordinance Chapter 113 entitled Ordinances and Resolutions, and the appointment of Zion Hickman, Chris Moritz, Carolyn Shireman, and myself, Vicki Dishon, as chair.
To the ad hoc committee.
Yes.
Is there a second to?
I'll second that.
Okay, all in favor of putting that stuff in the committee, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
No.
It still passes, so it is in the committee. Any other new miscellaneous business? None. We don't need to excuse anybody that's absent because nobody's absent.
I have one other thing to say, if I may.
Yes.
For the committee members on the ad hoc committee, I have packets which contain the rules of procedure for Bucyrus City Council, Chapter 111 and 113, for each one of you to pick up tonight before you leave so that you have time to look these over. And then I would like to, and I'll get with Miranda at our next council meeting to give her more information, but I'm looking to have an ad hoc or a special ad hoc committee meeting on January the 18th, after the regularly scheduled committee meetings are held. I figured not to have one this week. I want the committee to have time to look these documents over.
That's fine with me. It would be advertised as a special meeting, right? Because there's no.
Oh, yes, it's all,
Yeah.
yes, all ad hocs are special meetings, and I will have the proper verbiage, the purpose of the meeting, and, yeah.
Yeah, the conclusion of, or before?
Okay.
Inclusion.
Conclusion of other committee meetings or before all of them?
I guess I was thinking we would do it at like 7:00 PM or
Gotcha.
after the regularly scheduled committee meetings. I think that's the verbiage that we've been
I have
using.
a few going before or after.
Oh, no.
Sounds fine. I'm glad that you're gonna be on that committee because I like my hat, by the way. You probably know how things should be better than the rest of us. But the other thing, new business, I forgot one thing. Everybody's probably wondering, what is up with these yellow roses that are on our desk? I'm gonna let Ms. Shireman explain that because she's the
Explain
reason
what?
they're here.
Explain
The
it.
yellow roses, what do the yellow roses mean?
Okay. I believe that we have one of the greatest mayors. We have one of the best service directors. I think we have a good auditor. I think that this council and our clerk and our law director, I think we have created a friendship, which is why the color of yellow. And I thought that given everyone for our first meeting would make y'all feel special and know that we are a team. So yellow is for friendship, so we've created a friendship.
I think they're very beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And I appreciate, because you paid for these out of pocket, right?
Yes, sir.
Yep. Thank you. Okay, back to excusing members. There was no members to be excused. Referrals. I'm gonna let the council clerk tell us what referrals we have.
We have the BBSA appointment to plating, along with the BZA appointment, both to plating. Then we have ordinance 34-2019, it's to economic development, OPWC appropriations referred back to finance. And then we have the Crawford partnership referred back to economic development. That's all.
Okay, I need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
I second.
Chris seconded. He was on. Oh, it was Zion.
We all second.
All those in favor to adjourn, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? We are adjourned at 9:06 PM.